There's strategy in this
You're going
game.
deep now. You're going deep. Do you love to travel?
Do you love road trips?
Do you love finding hidden treasures in towns all over the USA? Hi, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Craig. Welcome to Treasures of Our Town. It's a podcast that explores unique and charming towns scattered throughout the United States.
Guided by our love for location-based games like geocaching and Munzee. Join us as we venture into some of the country's most intriguing destinations, uncovering hidden gems and local secrets along the way.
You said it, Josh. You just said it then. On today's episode, we talk about the mobile game we all play, the game of Munzee. It is a coexist. We do Munzee, we do geocaching, some people do Pokemon Go as well, other location-based games. This one is called Munzee, Josh, and we'll get into that very, very soon. We've got a special guest too, Josh.
Ooh.
Yeah, very special guest.
Who could it be?
I don't know, right? But someone who wears a green jacket often, I dare say. Anyway,
that's a very good hint.
I'm giving away too much if you already know. If you know, you know.
Yes, that's true. If you know, you know.
Now, Josh, I'm going to say this as well. We spoke off air earlier, and I'll say congratulations, mate. I'm leading into the upgrades and the delays, and I'm going saying congratulations on your upgrade, sir. So your upgrade is slightly different to mine. I did my particular upgrade 6 months ago now. So tell us, Josh. Tell us your upgrade.
This might be too TMI, but you know what? No. We're really getting to know our listeners quite well, and so I am of the age where it's that time to make sure everything's working well, everything's great, cancer free. So I just today, Craig, hot off the press, I just completed. Well, I didn't complete it. I slept through it. My very first colonoscopy.
Wow. What has this podcast come to, Joshua? Very different to what I did mine. As I said before, I did mine about 6 months ago. But my doctor ordered mine, and a little bucket came in the mail, Josh.
Oh, God.
And I had to supply a little sample, and then I had to seal the bucket and then post the bucket back. And then I would have had to go and get to what you've done had they seen anything unusual in that bucket, but apparently there was nothing unusual in that bucket. So surprised me actually, because it's not a good look. But anyway, we're going too far down that rabbit hole. Josh.
Well, let me just say this: so it is an upgrade. And I'll just say this, there might be there's a lot of men that play location-based games. Yeah. There's a lot of middle-aged men that play these games. And I just want to say this is the public service announcement. Gentlemen, get your checkups, get yourself checked out. Yeah. Do all the things your doctor's telling you to do, like a colonoscopy. Because I was told like colonoscopies, like that kind of cancer can be the most avoided as long as it's checked out.
Exactly. It's exactly right. And that's the thing, you're right, Josh, as well. Men especially. Women I find it very different. Women will go and get checked out like at a drop of a hat. Men, we don't. We sort of we push it off, So that's a very good PSA, public service announcement. And that is, every man should get checked of our age. Anywhere between the ages of 45 and 50, I do believe.
Yes, for sure.
So
that was my upgrade. And I'll just say it was actually the best nap I've taken in a long time.
Well, that's because it was medically induced.
I know. I wish all naps were like that.
Maybe, Josh, you need the secret sauce from the nap people.
Yeah, something.
Fair enough. Well, mate, my upgrade was the fact is that I've actually been doing the GIF video as well, editing the GIF video itself as well. But my major upgrade is I'm currently in a little hotel in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm flying down to the Gulf Shore of Alabama for a week down in Alabama on the Gulf Shores because, as you know, I'm part of the committee for BAMRAMA for 2026 in February 21st, 2026. And so I'm going down there and I'm assisting with some of the meeting stuff and the committee stuff down there as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. Well, actually, it's going to be pretty hot this time of the year in Alabama.
Yeah,
but anyway,
sure.
Apart from that, that's it. So yes.
It will be a grand time, though, I'm sure. And let's just talk about that. You mentioned the GIF video, which we just shot last weekend. And that's actually one of my upgrades too, because I have seen some preliminary edits.
Yes,
it's like almost completely edited. We just need a couple more clips. And I'll just say, Craig, it is looking good. I am so excited for people to see it. Hopefully the whole world will, the whole geocaching world will see it. Well, I'm not going to count my chickens before they're hatched, so I'm not going to say anything else. But
no, exactly.
But hopefully people will see it. It's turning out really nice. I'm excited for people to see it.
Yeah, and if you were part of the the production, Josh, because we had a lot of people turn up at the event, etc., and they're part of the production. Unfortunately, I couldn't get every clip in. Josh, I had 47 minutes worth of usable footage. 47 minutes. I had to cut out so much down to 4 minutes.
Yeah,
I had to get rid of 43 minutes of footage. Got rid of it. Gone. Hit the floor. So if you were there helping us out and you're listening to this podcast as well, thank you very much for helping us. And unfortunately, you may not see your total self to some degree in there. Or if you do, it's maybe for a split second, etc. But you are very important and very important part of the actual story itself too. So we do thank you for the help. But a big thank you goes out to Chad Tricasius in that area as well. So
he did a star.
He is an absolute. He's more of a star than what you were in it, Josh. I'll say that. I'll say that. He's got the natural reaction, which is really cool. So anyway, we won't give too much away in regards to all we'll say is that GIF, if you don't know what GIF is, it's called the GIFF, the Geocaching International Film Festival, whereby once a year everyone puts in their films, and normally anywhere on average about, I think, 12 to 15 videos get selected as finalists, and then all those videos, you can go and see the videos, Josh, over, I think it's a 4 or 5 day period where they can have GIF events all over the world, which basically showcase the videos at each event too, which is really cool.
I believe that this year is going to be the first week of November. So if you're a geocacher, look around for those events for that first week of November, and hopefully, knock on wood, you'll get to see
crossing fingers, and everything else I've got. So, well, mate, that's also that's the only delay I have, and that is I've been flat chat busy doing those edits, doing that GIF video stuff too, and doing a little bit of Munzee work as well. So I've been doing a lot of stuff at the moment in the back end, sitting down at Panera Breads and at Dunkin' Donuts for hours on end using their Wi-Fi and their air conditioning at the moment because it's been steamy hot throughout the US too. So, but so that's all I've been doing, mate. That's busy. What about you? Any delay for you at all?
It's the same. You think that when we hit summer, when you work in schools, that things will be slower and less busy. It is less busy, but in a different way. So things, on the day job front are, busy just like everybody else. And we're trying our very best to enjoy our Minnesota summer, which today it's like 60 degrees and rainy. So there's my delay for today. The weather's not so great, but we do not talk about the weather on this podcast.
Anyway, well, we can if it's affecting the actual gameplay or what we're doing, or the travel in which we're talking about, or the location in which we're talking about too. So, but today's location we're talking about, Josh, isn't just a particular location. This is a worldwide, a global phenomenon.
Yes. Ooh, I like that.
You like that? That's good. Should we introduce our special guest we have on, or do you have anything else for anyone else?
No, we should introduce our special. You should introduce them because you are practically co-workers.
Well, actually, I'm going to introduce my boss, and that is his name is Rob, also known as Coach Fee, as part of the Munzee / geocaching, etc. as well. He is the president of Munzee, and Rob, welcome, buddy.
Hey, howdy, as I say. So, hey guys, how's it going? Good to be here. Thanks for asking me to join.
This is the first time we've had you on Treasures of Our Town, I believe, because I think I've been on the Munzee podcast, but I don't think we've had you on this podcast. So I'm excited to have you here.
I have listened to not every single one. I won't lie, but so many, so many. I've got to be in your top percentages of having completed episodes. But I really enjoy what you guys do. And when you sent me a message saying, "Hey, we're going to talk about Munzee," I was like, absolutely. And I'm happy to give you notes. And instead, no, I'm here to talk. But before we talk Munzee, I have not had the procedure that the two of you are talking about And this is my 49th year. So it's definitely
time.
one of those things that is due.
Yes.
I know that I should do that. I am, I live in England most of my time. Officially, I do, but I'm back in the U.S. so much that it's kind of like I'm there. So anyway, I've made a mental note to August. Check that out. Get some stuff. Get some stuff in motion there. So anyway, and thank you both for talking about that.
I will say, Rob, as well, you have to get it by a medical professional. It can't be your wife. But anyway, we're going to move on. Josh, we've had Rob on the show before. We have.
Yeah.
We have. When we recorded live. Yeah, when we recorded live, in Flagstaff, Arizona, we had Rob and Tim were on the show for that.
That's right.
Flagstaff, Arizona. See?
That's right.
There you go, Josh.
So I couldn't remember
back,
honestly. Rob. Right. I couldn't remember if we recorded that for Munzee or if that was for Trisha's Motown. Yeah, so that's good.
Or maybe a bit of A and a bit of B. But if people don't know out there as well, I love my podcast, obviously, with Josh, Treasures of Our Town. I'm also on the GCPC, the geocaching the geocaching podcast as well. It's the only live call-in podcast every single week on a Wednesday night. But I also as well do the official Munzee podcast with Rob. Rob is the co-host with me on that one. And that's another weekly podcast, half an hour, 30 minutes. And basically Rob and I we read the weekly blog and we tell people what's going on and what's happening and what's coming up, et cetera from there. So, Rob, did you want to start first and foremost, if you're listening to this and you're like, Munzee, what the heck and what in the world is Munzee? Did you want to tell people what Munzee is, Rob? Or
spelling of the name, Munzee. All right. So if you're going to check it out, honestly, if you search geocaching in the App Store, you'll probably find Munzee located in that little list, just so you know. I don't know how that magically happens, but it seems to. Alternatively, if you search Munzee, you will also see the geocaching app. And that's because you guys actually use this line. I'm pretty sure Josh came up with it. That Munzee is the love child of geocaching and Pokemon Go. And I think it really does fit because there are two styles of gameplay in Munzee. There is a physical gameplay style that is similar to geocaching in that you are finding something physical. However, with us, it's 2D. It's just a QR code. That's all you're looking for. So that makes it really easy. If the person is nice, it makes it easy to find. You would be surprised at how many Munzees might be out there in the real world around you that you have walked past hundreds of times and never seen. So that whole muggle phrase in geocaching and in Harry Potter fits in very well with the Munzee world as well. If you've ever seen people walking and stopping at every single light post in a parking lot, those, if they're at every single one, those are Munzee players. If they're at every one that's 528 feet apart, those are geocachers. That's how it is. We both use the same places for hides. So that's the physical game, and then the virtual game is similar to a Pokemon Go style of play in that we have our own IP. We have our own little characters. Cappy the unicorn is one of our two main characters. And so there's unicorns and dragons and all different types of myths that bounce all over the world. And they land virtually, and so you can see them on the map. And so then you have to be within a certain distance of them in order to capture them virtually. Those are our words. You get points from the game. You earn points from cap-ons. So if someone else is playing and they are capturing your Munzees, then you get residual points from that. Put them out, capture them, get points from other people doing it. And what's the point of the game? The point of the game is to get people out, moving, fresh air, all that kind of stuff. So, that's what we do.
And that's what we're going to discuss as well today, Rob, and that is that what is the good things about Munzee and for travel purposes, because this is a travel podcast, but it's guided by our love of location-based games. Yeah. And so what is the good travel component of Munzee? And that's what we'll get deep dive into. Very good discussion about Munzee, but if you are brand new to Munzee and you've just downloaded the app after pausing this episode, and you're having a look, the only thing I'll say is the square ones, they're the ones that are physical. The circle ones are the ones that are virtual. So that's all you really need to know to start with. If you see it, you can capture it. That's pretty much the only other thing as well. If you're a geocaching player and you're going, I've heard about Munzee, or, I used to play Munzee years ago and I don't do it anymore, have another look at Munzee. It's very, very different. I was in the same boat as you. 3 years ago, I took up Munzee again, and it was very, very different compared to what I was used to, 10 years ago, for instance, what it was. Munzee's been around for 14 years now. So happy birthday, Rob, this July. July's birthday month for Munzee.
Yeah, I assume this podcast is going out during our birthday month. It's like you planned it that way. Thank you for the celebration. Yeah.
yeah, it's very, very cool indeed. But unlike geocaching as well, a few different Munzees, you can actually capture them every single day, and you can actually set up your own area, your own walking paths. And as Rob just said before, there is a very big difference. It's only 150 feet apart for physicals, for your own physicals. So you can put your own physical trail out there in your local park area where, you walk your dog around. I mean, Josh, you do it. You walk Goliath around your neighborhood, and I know when you do because I own those Munzees, and I get points when you capture them too. So thanks for that. So that's one good thing about Munzee, as opposed to the geocaching world, whereby geocaching you find it once and you're done. That's it. End of story. Munzee, you can set it up to whereby you can exercise daily with a purpose. Walk with purpose. It's the same as when I used to be in Australia, Rob and Josh, and I used to go kayaking. Would I kayak just for the exercise? No, I would have a fishing rod at the back, you see, with a lure, and I'd be kayaking with the lure, and next minute, and I'd be catching fish. So I'm exercising with a purpose. I wouldn't go out just kayaking by itself. That's boring. No, I had a fishing rod at the end of the back. So it's the same sort of thing. So this time you use your handheld device, such as your mobile phone, to capture it from there. So, Josh, throwing to you now.
Yeah.
Rob,
Go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, I've been a geocacher since 2004.
Yes.
So I didn't start Munzee, but I've been the president now for 12 years, and the things that we've built in those 12 years are some of my favorite pieces of geocaching. We make a lot of changes. We change things up regularly, and so that's one of the things that is similar to geocaching. So if there are cachers out there that have heard about it but never tried it, it's actually not terrible, and it's not bad. You can put 3 Munzees between where you are and the next geocache, and if you're going, as you just said, just on a trail or whatever, then why not? If you're going out to do maintenance on your caches, then you've got something that you can do along the way. So sorry to jump in and interrupt, but that triggered in my brain that the fact that I'm a coexister. I'm top of the chain on the Munzee side. Like there's plenty of room to play both games, so many more as well. So,
yeah. I was just thinking the thing that I love about it is that it can be so simple and it can be so complex.
Yeah.
So sometimes, with geocaching, and this isn't a geocaching versus Munzee argument, but as you said, it's find a container, done. With Munzee, it could be scan a QR code, done. But not. There's deeper things in it. There's deeper gameplay. That's why it's very similar to Pokemon Go that way. From a gameplay standpoint, Munzee you are always creating and imagining new things to keep it interesting and keep it fun for the players. So it is a real hybrid of gameplay, but also outside adventure and exploration. So it kind of has the best of both worlds, which I love.
I love the fact as well is that they're very different in terms of, like with geocaching, I'm coming up to 16,000 finds very, very soon, but I wouldn't even have a clue about how many you found. Josh, I don't have a clue how many I think because of your videos, you're coming up to 10,000 finds. Yeah. But either way, to me, the amount of finds that the three of us have, it doesn't really, it's not in the forefront of my mind. Munzee, however, when it comes to the points and the competition side of things, if you're not a Munzee player, then yes, I've joined the Munzee team. I'm proudly part of the Munzee team itself. And Rob was when I say was, I'm talking about was as in last week. He was the number one staff member and had been since he integrated 12 years ago into Munzee in terms of the points. Well, not anymore. So I've managed to go out, have a hard few weeks, and managed to climb above Rob in the points tally of the staff. So I am now the number one staff member.
Still stings, and I will still, from this humble place of second, the first loser place, I will say congratulations once again. You put all the work in, so that's how it goes.
But again, as I said before, that's the difference between Munzee and geocaching as well. Munzee is very much about competition, gameplay. You go to a Munzee event, for instance, and you don't mind. You're not being ignored. You can still have a conversation, but everyone's got their head in their phone, capturing all the Munzees everywhere. But everyone's still talking. So it's multi-use. Whereas I go to a geocaching event, and finding a cache is the last thing on my mind. For me, it's all about the socializing. And same with you, Joshua, as well. Socializing when you're around other people in a geocaching event is much more different than a Munzee event. We'll just say that too. So, Josh, do we want to start about how Munzee can improve your travel? What do you do about travel?
What they say about geocaching, it takes you to the best places. People say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's the same way with Munzee, but Munzee, I think there's some things that are unique about Munzee that might even be different than geocaching that is a benefit to travelers. So I just thought it'd be really interesting to talk about some of the reasons Munzee is so great for travel. And after all, that's what this podcast is about. It's not just about geocaching and travel, but it's about location-based games. So we have some thoughts. Dare we say 10 good reasons why
10 good reasons
Munzee is great for travelers, and we're just going to riff right off of them and talk about that today.
Number 10, we'll start from number 10 all the way down, is global gameplay. So the global gameplay, it talks about how this is actually all over the world, worldwide. It also talks about as well how by we have friends in Munzee. We call them clan mates and whatever. I'm not going too deep, but you have friends all over the world. And so what you can do as well is you can deploy a virtual Munzee on the other side of the world in your friend's backyard if you want to help them accomplish any goals that they need to do, whether it be daily or monthly goals and tasks that they require. So it is a global gameplay type event too. So you can put them anywhere around the world. You can put them in the middle of the ocean. You can, absolutely. Physically, you can, or virtually, you can put them in the middle, where they're not going to get any captures, so it's a waste of time, but you can do it, Rob. There's no real place that's out of bounds, is there, Rob, for global gameplay?
There actually used to be complaints about some virtuals that were deployed in Area 51 that no one could reach and no one could cap. And they're like, why? Why are people putting them out there? And I said to those people, stop complaining. They're allowed to put a virtual Munzee out there. They're not going to get any points. But if they want to say, hey, aliens, cap this, cool, go for it. Guess what you can't do in geocaching? You cannot put a geocache in Area 51. That is not possible. No, thank you, sir. So that's one of the cool things that happens here. While there isn't really hey, let's do Munzee versus geocaching, it's there are comparisons because of the audience that you guys have. The thing about Munzee that's different in terms of global gameplay, is the fact that you can actually deploy a Munzee physically anywhere around the world. So if you go to a place that means something to you, some overlook, some whatever. I've got a couple of Munzees in Kauai that I may never have the chance to go back there and maintain them, but I put them there because there was just like a special scene. And why I was there? A geocache. I didn't put it at the exact same spot as the geocache, but I was taken to the Queen's Bath, this really cool place. And it was there's not a Munzee here. Oh, now there is. And so you have the opportunity to put them anywhere, the community is actually partially responsible to help with the maintenance of these things as the game grows. So that's something that I enjoy about the global piece of it as far as the gameplay goes.
I will correct you on one circumstance, Rob. And that is, you can't physically put a Munzee in a private property or location, or in an airport either. So
that's true.
You can't go onto someone's private property and actually place a Munzee there, and you can't go and place a physical Munzee in an airport. You can place virtual Munzees in an airport, and you will find that airports, train stations, any big travel hub location, it is absolutely chock-a-block full of Munzees. I mean, airports themselves are huge for Munzees too. Because you think about it, if you're traveling and you've got a layover somewhere, you've got 2 or 3 hours, you're not just going to go to the bar and pay $15 for a beer. You can actually walk around, get some exercise, and walk through the terminals and capture all these Munzees and all the points, and you'll see your points skyrocket as well. So that's the good part of that global gameplay, Josh.
That is a great point, Rob, about that. Even the physical ones, because there's something about leaving something physical where you have been that you thought is really cool. And there is some sort of satisfaction that after you visited something, even like 3 years ago, and you put a physical Munzee there, to see somebody was there and they experienced the same thing you did because they capped that little sticker. That I don't know what it is, but there's just something about, sharing that with them. They probably didn't necessarily go there because there was a Munzee there, maybe, but they probably went there because it was a cool spot. And then like, oh gosh, I put one on top of the Monmouth Falls, that big double waterfall in Oregon at the very top. And every once in a while that thing gets capped, and I think, oh my gosh, that person got that same view as I did.
Yep.
And you can put a picture on there of you being there, and even encourage the same thing from others. And so, you get to relive that, but you also get to see it during different seasons, which is kind of cool. Lake Louise, for example, is one where I took Louise, my wife, and put physicals out there. And so we've capped it when the lake was frozen because it was January. And I have some pictures from other people who've capped it with the bluest water because it's a glacier. And man, it's like the coolest stuff to see and just to relive, and globally have it absolutely anywhere, which is really fun.
That is cool.
And that segues directly into the next one, Rob, too, which is built-in sightseeing too. So built-in sightseeing. So as you said before, Munzees are normally placed near points of interest, landmarks, trails, art installations, all that sort of thing. Like as you just said, Josh, you put them in different locations where you go, you know what, this is a really cool location, and you got a memory from it there as well. So built-in sightseeing. But I will say, not just traveling purposes, but this is going back over 12 months ago now. I was in New Jersey. Quick story. It was in New Jersey. I found a seagull with a broken wing. It's snapped in half. The wing was snapped in half and the bone was sticking out. Anyway, I grabbed the seagull. I couldn't drive, and I said at the time, I need to get to a vet. Where's the nearest vet? I took him to the nearest vet. Why? Because there was a point of interest as a vet on the Munzee app that I'd been capturing every single day for a year, so I knew exactly where the local vet was to assist with this seagull. So points of interest as well is what I'm talking about.
Saving the lives of birds, one bird at a time. Who knew?
Through Munzee, through the help of Munzee.
I actually didn't even know that story. That's really funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. That was the one in New Jersey. So there we go. Built-in sightseeing, Josh. We'll get back to built-in sightseeing, what you just said before too. So I will go on and say that a lot of people who listen to the show, they do geocache. They do love their statistics and stuff as well. There is a statistics in Munzee for when you place a physical Munzee in a location. So you can have your whole entire map done. So you can place physical Munzees in every state of the US, and it shows you which states. It tells you how many countries you've placed Munzees. So when you go away on trips, I went to England, for instance, and I was there with Rob, and I placed a few Munzees, physical ones. They count towards all your statistics as well. So I do love the stats, Josh.
Yeah, there is something satisfying about placing something physical in a place that like you might not ever get back to again. So like last summer I went to Venice, Italy, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in Italy. I need to put a Munzee here because I certainly can't hide a geocache.
No, you can't.
So in Venice, oh my gosh, what a beautiful city.
Yeah. I even placed one, a physical one as well, as you walk across the border from in Niagara Falls, along Rainbow Bridge there, when you walk from the US into Canada, because that sometimes it gets a bit of a queue up that line. And so I'd placed a couple of physicals in the queue. So if you're there waiting in the queue, then why not? Like, oh, there's a Munzee around here, and around the corner, and there you go. So you can actually play the game while you're physically there as well. So, yeah, again, same sort of thing. And one of them was actually in Canada, so I get my little Canada badge or souvenir, whatever you call it, or just a statistic.
Yeah.
Sightseeing, Rob. Anything else you've got on sightseeing before we move on?
I think that you guys have nailed it. There are different types of Munzees that you can put out. So that so there's a base one called the Greenie, which is a lower value, but it's also free. And so taking those types and putting them out in different locations, like Josh said in Italy, which that's cool. If that one goes missing, then it's sad, but but it's just one of those things that that happens. You can put them together as a little bit of a tour if there aren't any in a location that you go and visit, so it's like, here's a place where I went because of whatever tour book, because of geocaching, whatever it may be. So you could actually lead future Munzee players on a tour around town, as far as here's a couple of different hotspots. So definitely useful for that. Yeah.
I have another thing to say about that, because you mentioned trails. It makes me think of the trail Munzees. A lot of people think, oh, a Munzee is mainly like an urban game. And so sometimes you can put these trail Munzees out and you cap it physically, and then you don't see the next one until you cap the first one. And then it takes you on a trail, like a path, or all the way around a lake or whatever. So, there are some Munzees that are actually designed for nature trails.
Yes. Yeah, I love those ones too, Josh. I really do. There's some special ones out there when you talk about the nature trails, etc. There is a special nature trail, and Rob can enhance this one as well, whereby I think it was the local Girl Guides. They came towards Rob and said, look, we want to try and do this trail. And same sort of thing, where you do cap one and it shows you the next one, then it shows you the next one as you go along. And you get an actual special badge, and there's only one of these trails in the entire world. And yes, I have done it as well. So
Spartanburg, South Carolina. Yeah,
South Carolina.
Absolutely.
That's the one.
So Girl Scout, contacted me. Parents, big Munzee players, and so we're both of their daughters. But we worked out how to do it together, and so she did it as part of her big, end project, basically, for Girl Scouts. And that was maybe 8 or 10 years ago that we built it. And because it's virtual, it's never going away. It's there for anyone to get, and pretty cool little walk.
Yeah. Oh, in actual fact, I was there last year as part of my tour as well, and I went there purely because of that. And it was after they had the hurricane that ripped through South Carolina, and so there was mud everywhere. There was trees that were down. It wasn't in good shape. It hadn't been but the thing is, as you said, Rob, because they're virtual, so it still stays around. It doesn't matter what weather happens. I mean, if that happens even with a physical Munzee, then it's going to be missing. If it happens with a geocache, it's going to be flooded and gone. So the virtual side of this was actually really cool, which, again, look at you guys in your segue. That leads into number 3, which is encourages exploration as well. So look at you. When it encourages exploration, it says about sticking to the tourist traps as well. So rather than sticking to the tourist traps, you can go and encourage you to walk further, take side streets, see what's around the corner, and explore parts of the town or area that you wouldn't ordinarily go to, because you do have to be physically within a certain radius in order to capture these Munzees too. So, Josh, what have you got? Have you explored any parts of towns, etc., through Munzee that you went, hang on a second? What's
I remember
this?
Actually, when I was in, I think it was Foley, Alabama, when we were down there for Bama-Rama. I think we were just finishing up the Munzee event, and I just had some extra time. And then I noticed, oh my gosh, there's a trail of Munzees that go all the way through the downtown. I don't think I would have walked and checked out the whole downtown area if I hadn't had Munzee after Munzee on each of those lamp poles. So that is totally true, that it will encourage you to maybe branch out farther or somewhere different that you wouldn't otherwise. I think Adventure Labs also is another example that kind of do that as well.
Exactly. We're going to move on now to the number 4th one, which is the lightweight and digital. Now, it's always in the palm of your hand. It's just literally a mobile phone device, whether it be Android or whether it be Apple iPhones. No GPS devices. This doesn't work on a GPS device. No other physical items to carry. No pens to carry, Josh.
Wow.
No pens. You don't need a pen.
No pen required. Wow.
So it says that it's actually perfect for traveling because you can pack a lot because everyone has a mobile phone with them. So that's all you need. I mean, obviously, if you do have some stickers, if you want to replace, because you can replace them if they're missing, if you're at certain levels, then you can bring some stickers with you. But otherwise, you don't even need to do that. You just literally capture it and move on. Or if it's not there, you just move on into the next one. So
I mean, people that are really into Munzee, they have these swanky fanny packs. They say Munzee on them that is designed, and I believe you can get them on the Munzee website.
Yeah,
not sponsored.
True. That's true. Absolutely true. And I believe a really good-looking gentleman was the one that created those ones too.
Yeah, with the guy with the strange accent. Yeah, came in and was like, "Hey, I can build some cool designs for you." And I was like, "All right." And then turns out he can. Yeah.
No, but honestly, though, guys, let's be honest. It's just a mobile phone. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. As I said before, you don't even need a pen. So how many times, Josh, have you gone to a geocache and you're like, "There's no pen"? How many times? Yeah. It happens every single time for you.
I also was thinking about my kids. I think my kids, when they were like in junior high age, they were like way more into Munzee for a period of time because they just liked the tech aspect of it. Yes. It's almost just more accessible in some ways when you just have a phone and that's all you need. So I just remember Jonah in particular, my middle child, he was like, for a good period of time, he was into Munzee more than anything else, just because he just liked, I think kids just like things that they can do on their phone, the tech part of it.
Exactly. The quick responsive time of it as well. You scan the Munzee, boom, here's your score. Now you're moving on. You're going 50 feet away to, cap the next one. Or if they're virtual, you're sitting in one place and you're getting, a bunch, and then you're moving to the next spot. But you see your score go up, and depending on what type it is, you can actually have a competition like, we have on weekends whenever we're all together, where, we may all be capping the exact same stuff, but sometimes you get different points from it. So builds in a little natural competition, and you don't have to keep track of those scores. Like the app does it, and you go right on through. There's a daily leaderboard, all those types of things. And that's the tech, that's what it's all about.
Exactly. Moving on now, it's something for everyone. Now, this is what we were talking about before as well in regards to, Josh, you were saying with the children, even to the older generation as well. It does get them out there and that too. But when you're talking about things like either the physical walking, walking down your trails and your park areas and stuff as well. But Josh, I like it. And I've built one of these for you, Joshua.
I know.
And that is a Munzee garden. They call them gardens in Munzee, whereas in geocaching they call it geo art, whereas in Munzee they call them gardens. The difference is Munzee, you can put them really closer together, and they come in all different colors. There's
64 colors.
64, close enough.
And it's the names from the not sponsored Crayola crayon box. Those are the names of the
I never knew
colors.
that. That's how you got them.
Macaroni and cheese virtual. It's because it's the same color as macaroni and cheese. The crayon. Yeah.
But you can create these virtually. You can create them anywhere, all over the world, as long as they don't interrupt with any other virtual Munzees themselves. Then you can do that. Josh, I did for you a little present for you, a little gift when you reached your biggest milestone, the milestone you've been looking for over 12, 13 years. When you hit 100,000 followers on YouTube, I built a silver play button for you right near your house too.
So cool. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so it's very different. So yeah, I love the virtual gardens as well. So what do you think about them, Josh?
Yeah, and these topics are kind of crossing over a little bit, but I think about just thinking about deploying things, right? For people, for you as a traveler, I think it's so fun. You are, as a van lifer, you're in a different place all the time. So people can see where you are. You wake up in the morning in your Cracker Barrel and people have dropped Munzees right on you.
They do every single day.
And you might think, oh, that's a waste because, only he's going to cap it. But the cool thing about Munzee is that some of the Munzees that you deploy that are virtual, they're temporary. So they're only there for a week or they're only there for a month. And so it's just a way to be like, hey, traveler friend, I see you. I appreciate you. Here's a little something. Here's a little something for you to cap.
Exactly. And I'm going to bring it back as well to one of Rob's sore points. And that is, we recently, a couple of months ago, we had a Rob versus a Craig month-long event whereby the Munzee players all over the world could support either Rob or could support Craig, one of the two. And they were deploying things like they were deploying Craigs or Robs or, and the amount of cards and Craig stuff that I got that I could cap from other people every single day at all my rest stops or my Cracker Barrels or wherever I was staying that particular night, all I needed to do was I'd place one out saying, yep, this is my rest stop for the night. People would look and they'd Munzee stalk, it's called, and they'd look at you and look where your recent deploy was. And they go, yep, Craig's there, so I'll put my stuff there near Craig. And the reason why it's a sore point for Rob because he lost that one as well, just like he lost the lead and everything else as well.
I mean, so it's been a rough couple of months for me in terms of Munzee leadership. Can't lead the team in terms of gameplay anymore, but that's all right. So you know what else you did, though, is you're talking about the nice side of your gameplay. You also took the gameplay in a negative way for me by getting all of your people to deploy your things around me so that when I capped them, it gave your team points. It was brilliant. True. You organized them well. So when you say there's something for everyone, there literally is something for everyone. We call it play your way.
Yes.
That doesn't mean cheat your way. That means play your way. No. We have a code of conduct and, we give you some guidelines. And then literally, if you are one that wants to only go to cool places and do physical, find, QR codes, cool. You can do that. You can actually turn off all the virtual stuff. If you absolutely hate physical stuff, if you can't go walking, if you can't do those things, then you can turn on only the virtuals. So it's adaptable to absolutely everyone.
Exactly. And I love it as well when we talk about it can be done by yourself. You can do it as couples. You can do it as families with your kids and stuff as well. If every member of the family has their own account, you can even do things like, you yourself and your partner. And you go, okay, whoever gets the most points today has to cook dinner. Or has to clean the bathroom, stuff like that too. So, you can do all that sort of thing. Play it your way and enjoy it that way too. Moving on now, it is actually quick to play. So whether you got 5 minutes between stops or a whole afternoon or an entire day, or like me, it's my life now. It adapts to your schedule. And this is where we're talking about great for airport layovers, lunch breaks, road trip stops, stuff like that too. Very similar to geocaching, whereby when you go to rest stops. Now, Josh, we spoke about rest stops last episode as well. The great bathrooms. If you haven't listened to that, suggest you pause this now, go back and listen to the great toilet humor we had. But yeah, like we said before, in the rest stops, whereby there's always going to be physical geocaches to find. There's normally one, possibly two, because they have to be a fair distance apart. But the amount of virtuals, but also physicals in rest stops will get you out, stopping the car, outside the car, walking around and refreshing yourself again, which again is a perfect thing for safety as well. So it is very quick to play, whether you've got just a rest break like that or you've got an entire day. It's up to you.
Yeah. I'll say this, I was traveling with the family, when I was just playing geocaching, especially at the rest stops, the geocaches often took me a little bit more time that would annoy my family, be like, where is dad? He's in the bathroom for a long time. And the Munzees are much quicker, typically much more accessible, and it scratches that geo itch. So you don't feel like that rest stop was a complete waste if you have to skip the geocache.
Yeah. I like the geo itch. I like that, Josh.
Yeah, that is a good. That's a good term. I like that.
We'll use that. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I'm that way now, and I haven't even got any ticks today. But anyway,
it's that way on purpose too, built quick to play, just so that you don't have to disrupt life. Like you can be with a group of people who are not interested in playing Munzee, and if you're not driving, then everywhere that you're in the car, you can be playing the virtual game just as you're moving. And at the same time, whenever they stop to go and get a geocache, you can participate in the geocache as well. And we did this while we were in West Virginia. I was there with you guys to find every geocache. I didn't actively participate in the finding piece of all of them because I was deploying a Munzee. I was doing that little piece. Like I said earlier, the fact that when you scan it, you've got that quick response of here's the points, and it's that a little adrenaline rush of, okay, I found that one. Now where's the next one? And you've got 5 minutes. You can move quickly around a small area.
Yeah. And that again, Rob, perfectly moving on again. Look at you. It's like you're reading the show notes to some degree. It talks about rewards on the road. Now, when you're saying before, Rob, in the car, road trips in the car can be something very, very different now. Instead of you being there with the kids, for instance, and the kids either crying or you have to make sure the kids are watching a TV show or a movie or something like that too, the kids got their own devices. This way, on most of the roads themselves that I've found have plethora of virtual Munzees placed all the way across every single highway, at least in the USA anyway, at minimum, that literally you can just capture as you go along, because you have to physically be there, but within 300 to 500 feet, for instance, on most of them, and so they're a lot easier to play that way on the road. I enjoy on the road trips like that too. So, Josh, what about yourself, mate? On the road?
Well, I do love the badges. I love earning badges.
Yeah,
this comment is in form of possibly a request. One of the things I do love about geocaching are the souvenirs, especially the state souvenirs, knowing that like these are the states that I have found geocaches in. I would love something like that in Munzee, where I'd be like, I have found a physical Munzee in this state. That would be something cool. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
You are in a 14-year-long request line. That is something before I joined the team that I was telling them, I'm like, what's a brilliant idea? This is what you need to do. The trouble with it is if you do it for all the U.S. states, then do you have to break down all of the provinces and counties and all of the things in all the countries, or do you just claim favoritism and just tell people, we're U.S. based, sorry.
You're the boss.
All the
you
countries,
can do whatever you want.
I know, right? But now I live in the UK, so it's kind of like, we have to do at least England and the U.S. Anyway, I can tell you that we have the data, so that's the good news. The bad news is because we're a changing game so often, it's taking the time to slow down and to put that information in and then start delivering the badges. The artwork, that's not even a part that would take forever, so it is possible. And wouldn't it be nice if everywhere that you drove, Craig, you were able to pick up all of those states? Because I know that the three of us, enjoy the souvenirs that we pick up as we travel. So we get those for every country. I've got I think I'm in 44 states in the US, so I'm almost completed with the whole thing, and it matters to me. So when you ask for that, Josh, I get it. That's a reward that I want too. I want to document all the places that I have been within the game of Munzee. I can do it in geocaching already. I'm in charge. I should be able to do this. Not yet, though.
But it's true in regards to the rewards. I mean, you look at, and when we talk about rewards, people say, what do you get for playing these games? With the geocaching, what do you get out of a geocache? You like just the fun of it. But the rewards we're talking about is the digital souvenirs, the ones that don't need dusting, for instance, as well. And we like all of our souvenirs. I mean, all three of us as well. We are on Untapped, which is a beer beer drinking app for like beer Facebook, basically. And you get badges for that too. So when we're out at a brewery, the three of us are out at a brewery and we're logging our beers, we're looking at which new souvenirs we're going to get, and then we share them around with each other as well. Oh, have you got this one? Have you got this one? So souvenirs in general are a very, very cool idea and a good reward as well. So,
well, there was something I learned about something I learned about Untapped, Craig, that we learned when we were traveling together is that you can have it's location based. So you have in the premium version, you have a heat map of all the places that you have drank beers, and like, whoa, that place you've drank a lot of beers at. I don't know. That's just cool. Sorry, side note. We might have to have an Untapped episode at some point.
Well, we might have to reach out to Untapped. Yes.
I want to talk to them too. Please, can I come back and join in? I know that Tim would love to be part of that as well.
Right? Oh, yeah. Wow. Exactly. What were you going to say?
So one more thing about rewards is we actually have on this podcast right now the number one reward earner in the entire Munzee universe.
And it's
because
not me.
We actually have referral rewards. So you get not only points for the referrals. So to all of you who've scanned Josh's referral code over all the years, thank you on his behalf, because you've earned him so many points, including, yes, lovely Craig, you are one of his referrals. And I know that. I'm really happy that you joined because of him. This whole thing is all because of what Josh did back in the day. So you receive actual credit in the online store, right?
Financial credit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's a Munzee flex right there. I can't think of anybody else that really does that. I mean, Pokemon Go kind of rewards a little bit, but it's different. It's different.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some serious good stuff.
And when I say as well that I am one of Josh's referrals. So I remember when first, Josh, you did a video years and years ago about it, and you put the referral code up. I downloaded it. I was in Australia still. I downloaded it straight away. Boop, got my referral code from you. I got points. You got points. Unbeknownst to me, then I was going to 10 years down the track, I was actually going to work for Munzee. But Josh, I looked at your points yesterday.
Yeah.
And you are welcome, sir, because 1/3 of your entire points from yesterday were from me capturing my Munzees.
I believe that. Yesterday was a busy day, and it wasn't a busy day playing Munzee.
No, but
thanks for being
I keep propping you up. I prop you up, mate. I'll prop you up.
Speaking of referral codes, so every podcast has like the artwork for that podcast.
Yes,
we will put a referral code. So if you have never played Munzee, we encourage you to cap that referral code. I don't know whose referral code it will be. We might have to arm wrestle for it, but
no, it's yours. It's yours, Josh. I'll put yours there because you've got to stay.
I don't need anymore.
Extend the lead, man. Extend the lead.
Exactly. Next up, we have connecting to your locals. So very much like geocaching, whereby you can host events as well. You can host Munzee events, and they were saying before they're very, very different to your geocaching events in terms of, yes, you can meet up and stuff as well. And you can talk all about Munzees, and you can talk about, did you capture this one? Did you capture that one? Or you can talk, what I like to talk about is the different ways to play Munzee or different strategies. You strategize with Munzee because capturing a greenie, 20 points, that's it. But if you capture a greenie whilst you're activating a booster, for instance, then it's double the points. If you're capturing a greenie when it's on double point weekend and you're using a booster, then it's 80 points. It's like there's strategy in this.
You're going deep now. You're going deep.
I know. Sorry. And Josh already had his colonoscopy this morning. Anyway, there we go. I know, right? But what I'm saying is that strategy in this game is a big part of the game. And I know players out there who reached out to me and said, that's their favorite part of Munzee is the strategy to it as well. So when you connect with locals, you connect with other players and you can talk to them about what strategies they use in regards to Munzee too.
And that really goes for, any location-based game. The people I know that really are the diehards that really get into any of these games are the people that go to events, because that's how you learn. That's how you learn how to do things, to have somebody sitting next to you and walking side by side and saying, by the way, this is this. Like, I remember when I had this big aha when like there was, I'm going semi deep. This is old, but deep. When somebody saw a motel and I capped it and they're like, if you're the first 5 people that cap that motel, you're virtually inside that motel. And I was like, what? Like, yeah, the next time somebody caps that, you get points too. I'm like, what? I didn't even put it there. That's amazing. So it was like aha moment, but that wouldn't have not happened unless it was for like an event.
Exactly.
So get to the events. If you want to learn, get to events.
And Rob, you tell us as well. I was going to say, Rob, I'm going to lead this into you as well, because Rob, you're married to Lou, and Lou is a proud part of the Munzee team, and she's the one that's actually in charge of all events as well. So tell us in regards to the cake credits, and to a certain degree, without going too deep, but basically you can walk around with other people playing Munzee, and you earn credits that you can then reward yourself within parts of the game as well. So that's another thing you do as part of the events.
Go to an event. What I was going to say is July. This July is going to be probably our most popular month of events, and there's multiple reasons for that. But birthday month, there's a lot of stuff going on. So start playing Munzee. If you're already playing Munzee, look at the event calendar, see if there's one around you, and chances are pretty decent that big geocaching events, there's probably going to be some Munzee players and an event there. So Lou runs all the events, and over the years we've talked about ways to reward the event hosts for the work that they do. And part of that turned into, I guess 2 years ago or last year, this cake idea. And we've kind of taken it and run with it. So you earn these credits that you're able to redeem in an online store to get different game pieces that like bounce all around the world. So like I said about the unicorns that are in the game, or dragons, well, these are different types. These are balloon animals. There's a bunch of crazy stuff that happens in the game, but the absolute best part of it all is going to those events and meeting other local people and hearing, about their stories. And that's what I love to do. I love to hear, why people came into Munzee, what has changed for them since they've been in, and hey, what are your ideas? What would you love to see? Because we're always looking for, what's that next thing going to be? And sometimes it happens, but that happens some through Facebook groups and some of that kind of stuff, but that's not necessarily that local group. Those events is what brings a local community together, and that's the easiest way for you to grow the map and to expand, your own areas, is either having an event or attending one and meeting up with local people.
Yeah. The last two on the list as well. One talks about encouraging road trips. I think we've kind of discovered that as well when it comes to encouraging the road trips, like capturing along the road, especially with as I said before, the kids in the back, etc. as well. And then the last one was a memory making, which you touched on as well, Josh, when you're talking about how you're putting a physical sticker on a waterfall, or not on a waterfall, but nearby a waterfall and a beautiful area, etc. as well. So that were the lists that we got for the whole app, or the whole show, Josh. What do you think about those?
I think they're great. I think all these location-based games go hand in hand. They can coexist. We play them together.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun. Like when we went to Geo Woodstock, there were 4 Munzee players. We were all together, and there's just it's just something fun when we're all kind of playing the same game, but then also coexisting with a really awesome geocaching event. Like that was the highlight of my year so far, was hanging out with you all at Geo Woodstock and socializing, and playing both games and having fun. And I just think this game enhances my life, and I just really appreciate Rob and you as well, Craig, that you put all the work into making this fun and changing it and communicating it out every week on your podcast, which is also a lot of fun. You guys do a great job, because yes, with a game that's constantly changing, it needs the communication needs to be often and frequent. That's the same word. It needs to be frequent. Yes.
Yeah. And that's true. And yeah, there's totally different people out there. Some people are very visual learners. Other people are audio learners. Other people, want to read it and stuff like that too. So every week there does come a blog out from the Munzee team as well. The blog comes out and tells you what's going on, etc. as well. But as I said, Rob and I, we try and humanize it a little bit and put it in terms. And it's only 30 minutes every single week. And Josh, you yourself, I think you haven't played Munzee as much as you have since the last 4 years. I think the last 3 or 4 years since I've been back into it as well. I think you've jumped back into it too, and especially since the podcast has come out, because you listen to it on your way to work, Josh, every week.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess another thing too that motivates me is I have a really awesome clan, which is your team. Team. You can join teams in Munzee too, and you can work together to reach goals. And though everybody on my team or clan we live in the same area, so we hang out together and we have fun together. So that also motivates you. It's like, oh gosh, I don't want to let my team down. So that's another thing. I think that there's lots of motivators and to play, and that's another one too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Rob, any final thoughts for you before we wrap it up and close it out?
What I would like to say to everyone who's listening is, if you ever have the chance to meet these two guys, you need to ask them for their Munzee. They both have a special, unique badge that the only way you can get it in the game of Munzee is by meeting the two of them. So obviously I've got one as well, but that's beside the point. The two of you, we put Josh into this game back at Geo Woodstock in Cincinnati, the first Gigastock.
2018.
I mean, right. We had a special event, and like you stood up on a bench and like, rah! We were guerrilla marketing at that point in time with basically glow in the dark, burn your eye shirts, right? And Josh, the most prolific face in geocaching, YouTubing and all of that. And it's like, yeah, he's in Munzee. Everybody play Munzee, please. Then now, Craig, before you even really came into the team, kind of brought you along, and you were helping me out so much outside the team, unofficially, that we gave you a lot of those perks as well. And I really appreciate what you two have both done for Munzee over the years, and just the friendship and the travel that we have, and the memories that we have made collectively. And like Josh said, Geo Woodstock this year, man, that's like the highlight. This is what you guys do on this podcast is like, it's the coolest stuff that any of us get to do, and you get to talk about it with each other, and then everybody else listens in. I love it too, and I appreciate what you guys are doing for all of the location-based gaming community, and for everyone out there listening. So thanks.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. And Josh, we've spoken about this before. Our number one, very first episode, we talked about birth in a hot tub, because this show, this Treasures of Our Town, was birthed in the hot tub. That very same hot tub, that very same night that the Treasures of Our Town was birthed, the discussion was started as well for the Munzee podcast. So
I said, please, I want to be part of this. You guys, like, how can we do, we're talking geocaching, but we're at a Munzee event, and like, oh man, travel, and no, I so want to be part of all of this. I appreciate that you've included me now 2 times over the life of the podcast. Hopefully I can come back a third, please, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of including everyone, Josh, as well, we need to include our patrons as well. We're going to do a big shout out to our patrons, and we've got a brand new one as well over the last week. Do you know this patron? Do you know them?
I don't know if I've met him personally, but he sent us the nicest email this week, too.
I know.
So our new patron is Ryan Penman, Nesmuck in the geocaching world, probably the Munzee world. He also said in his email that he is playing Munzee as well. He's getting into Munzee, but he sent us a really kind, awesome email talking about he listens to everything, Craig. He listens to DCPC, the Munzee podcast. He listens to this podcast. He's watched my videos for years. So thank you so much, Ryan. And something really cool about the last episode, we were talking about the rest stops, and he was traveling. Get this. He was traveling while he was listening to it. And when we got to whatever number it was of Arizona, the Bear Lake the Bear Lake overlook in Utah. Guess what? Yeah. He was there.
Yes.
While we were talking about it. And he was like, it's a sign.
It's even better. He placed a physical geocache at that location as well, like down off the actual off that rest stop as well.
Yes. So he wants to do like a Where I Go series based on some of the stuff in Treasures of Our Town podcast, which is really cool. So we'll have to talk a little bit more about that. But anyway, Ryan, thank you so much for sharing that email. And of course, thank you for becoming a patron. We really appreciate it.
And if people want to become patrons, Josh, as well, just like Ryan, how can they do it?
Yes, go to patreon.com/Treasures of Our Town. Inside there, you will get behind the paywall, as Scott Burke says. Behind the paywall, there are just delightful golden nuggets, little bonus episodes of our podcast, sometimes bonus video. But the biggest thing is that you are supporting this podcast, helping us keep it going, helping us keep it ad-free, and we really do appreciate it. So join us over there at Patreon.
And if you want to just contact us in any way, shape, or form, Josh, like Ryan did as well, how can they do it?
Yes, feel free to reach out to us at Treasures of Our Town podcast at gmail.com, or you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, or just go to our Buzzsprout website. Just search Treasures of Our Town in Google, and there's a little clicking link there, and you can message us there. Just tell us who you are if you do that.
That's exactly right. So that's it, our show for today. Please subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting app. And as always, Josh,
may your travels always lead you to the most unexpected and amazing hidden gems where Cappy is hiding behind every light pole while you play Munzee. See you next time, everybody.
Josh.
What?
Josh. For the second episode in a row.
No, I didn't forget.
Did you forget?
You know
what?
Rob?
I'm really proud of my game.
He's proud of his game. And that's a rare thing these days.
There we go. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Munzee.